Capuchins.
Our founder is Francis of Assisi. He did not have any intention of founding a congregation, absolutely no. And when he began to live this gospel life, people were attracted to him. I got a species called the Capuchin friars.
And they have heard about Capuchin monkeys.
Then only real conflict, real polarizations, the crisis of poverty, crisis of privileges, crisis of learning, the crisis of clericalization.
Hello friends. The death of Pope Francis. It was a shocking news to the whole world, especially to the Christians. But to get over from the grief of Pope's death, we were given with a new Pope, that is Pope Leo XIV. These two names, Francis and Leo. Does these names ring some bells in your heads? Yes, these two names reminds me of two great legendary figures who lived 800 years back in Italy. Yes, Saint Francis of Assisi and Leo, his greatest friend. Saint Francis and Leo, during a period of dark age of the church, held the church close to their hearts, built it up, prayed for the church, and worked with their minds, spirits, and soul to the maximum. So today, I would like to introduce to you a wonderful personality, Father Robin Daniel, who is a Franciscan scholar, who will explain to us the life of Franciscans, especially of the Capuchins, and their origin, history, and significance. So let's welcome Father Robin Daniel.
Thank you, Sachin.
Father, sometimes we Capuchin brothers, we used to go for taking classes for teenagers, youngsters, etc. And whenever we go to a new place to spend some time with the kids, I used to introduce myself as Brother Sachin Baby Capuchin.
Capuchin.
When I say this name, sometimes they are very unfamiliar with the last terminology, that is Capuchins. What is this Capuchins? They have heard about Cappuccino, and they have heard about Capuchin monkeys.
Yeah.
But a Capuchin congregation or Capuchin priest.
What you intend to know is how the Capuchin congregation came out. No?
Yes.
That's
How
exactly the thing now. You have got a species called the Capuchin friars.
Yes.
And what is their origin? Something like that.
Yes, the origin of the Capuchins.
That's it. Sachin, you see, if I were to tell you the origin of the Capuchin is in 1528, that will not suffice. I must give you a little background of the origin of the Franciscan order. From there only this emerges out, you know.
Yes.
As you know, Sachin, our founder is Francis of Assisi. And this man of God, we call him the second Christ, he did not have any intention of founding a congregation. Absolutely no. He wanted to live the gospel life as it was revealed to him on the feast day of St. Matthias. He was attending the Mass and he listened to the gospel where we have got an account where the apostles are being sent out. You get?
Yes.
And this man was seeking, what am I to do? And another account is that he has gone to the church of St. Nicholas. There they open the Bible 3 times and get more or less the same. With this information or with this insight, Francis begins to live a gospel life. You get it, Sachin?
Yes.
Yeah. And when he began to live this gospel life, people were attracted to him. Son of a very rich man, a very glamorous young man, now living a gospel life, and slowly followers came to him. And primarily some 11 or 12 of them came, and it was a group. Then Francis thought it is time that I must get approval from Rome. And that's why he goes to Rome, to Pope Innocent III, and he gets the oral approval of a rule. Oral approval, I say, not a written approval. And that's the beginning of the Franciscan order. And that oral approval rule is called, Sachin, I have told you, primitive rule. With that he goes. Slowly, followers come. And will you believe, Sachin, if I tell you, within years they were in thousands. In thousands. And in 1217, that is, 9 we have got to the beginning stage, 1217, hardly 80 years. Provinces are created. What do you mean by saying provinces are created, Sachin? We have got in India, Capuchin provinces, some 14 units we have got. But we are one unit before, up to 1972. And then only we divided. Why we were divided? Because number has increased. More occasions, more areas of operation. Same thing happened here. And therefore, within 9 years, 8 years, the order is divided into provinces. And after 2 years, missionaries are sent out. And Francis himself goes for mission. And you know, number has come to say 3,000, 5,000. We have got some chronicles. Chronicle of Salim Bene, chronicle of what you call Thomas Eccleston, and the letter of Jacques de Vitry. All this gives the impression that there were nearly 5,000 friars following Francis. And at this time, Francis goes to the Holy Land in 1219. And when he goes, he entrusts the administration of the order to 2 vicar generals. One is Matthew of Narni and another one is Gregory of Naples. Sachin, do you know why he appointed 2 vicar generals?
I do not know.
You do not know. He wanted that one must remain always in the generalate. Because now you have got provinces, you have got missionaries, they may come to meet the general. And you don't have the present day facility of phoning up or sending mail. So when they come, he must be there. So one must remain there and another one must go around visiting the friars. But such things did not go well. By that time, Francis had gone out. These ministers with the other provincials convened a chapter and made a constitution not according to the mind of Francis, completely different. And this information, there is something going out of the way, some aberrations are taking place, was communicated to Francis in the Holy Land by a brother called Stephen of Narni. He goes stealthily and tells Francis, things are not as good as you think. There big developments are taking place. New constitution is formulated. Immediately Francis comes back. Francis comes back and goes to the Pope and tells, I would like to have a cardinal protector. Cardinal Ugolino is appointed as cardinal protector. And then Francis withdraws to write a rule. And he withdraws with the 2 companions. There is Leo is with him and Boniso of Bologna. 2 people are there with him. They go and write the rule. And this rule is a very big rule, 24 chapters. Is all his aspirations and all his ideals are articulated in this rule of 1221. Do you follow me, Sachin? Yeah. Then what happens? With this rule, a chapter is convoked. And the chronicle says, nearly 5,000 friars assembled there. And Francis is coming with the big rule that he has written, 24 chapters, not a juridical rule, but a charismatic rule. He comes there. And the ministers influence the Cardinal Ugolino, who is presiding over the chapter, to ask Francis, don't bring a new rule. You follow one of the existing rules. There were 4 existing rules, Sachin.
Yes.
Which were the 4 ones?
The Benedictine.
Correct. Benedictine, Augustinian, Basils, Pachomius, rules were there. Francis says, no. The Lord has called me to live a new way of life. And the Cardinal Ugolino would tell him, better you accept one of these rules and let us have peace. Francis catches hold of the hand of the cardinal and brings him to the stage there. And the friars all are there. And Francis shouts at the friars, "Who are these people who want to snatch away my brothers from my hands? The Most High himself will send his constables to confound you. And as for you, I am dead." Then he says, "I resign. I resign." Resign what? Resign the generalship of the order, so to say. He resigned. And a new one is appointed, Peter Cathani. Francis kneels down before him and says, "Now you send me wherever you want. You are my superior." And he says, "Now what is left for me is to give good example to my friars." And he withdraws. And the rule was not accepted. Sajin, you know why the rule was not accepted? It was not responding to the canonical requirement.
Yes. It was more of the word of
Ah,
God.
that's right, word of God. You said rightly. And it's sort of charismatic expression. What you require is a juridical rule means. Francis withdraws again with Leo and Bonizo. And Caesar Spare was there to embellish the rule with scriptural quotations. And they go to the mountain and write the rule. Make a copy, entrust to Elias. By this time, Peter Cathani died. So Elias is the Minister General. Entrust to him. And he tells after some time that I lost the copy. Francis goes again and writes the thing. And this rule is given. Okay? Now, what is the connection here? Sajin, the second rule does not contain all the Franciscan ideals or the ideals of Francis. Only juridically what is required. And where do you find the full ideals? In the first rule. That is what you call regula non bullata. This does not contain anything on that. It's only a juridical thing. That way left. But you know, Francis was not that way to give up. Just before his death, he wrote a will and a testament. And wrote in that, "This is my will, admonition and testament. And whenever you read your rule, you must read this also. And it is binding on you." You know, Sachin, what were in the testament? In the testament, you will find what is lacking in the rule of 1223 compared to the rule of 1221. Testament is there. And the man of God died. Then what happens? Then only the real conflicts come in. The real polarizations come in. Sachin, during the time of Francis or immediately after that, as you know, thousands of friars are there. Some of them had not even seen Francis. Some of them even had not had the vision of Francis. They just joined. Nearly 5,000 friars means. And Sachin, at that time, there were predominantly 4 crises. Which are the 4 crises? The first crisis was crisis of poverty. For Francis, it was poverty, very primacy of poverty. He would write, "This is the most sublime poverty, which has made you poor in temporal things, but exalted you in virtue." That was one crisis. The second crisis was crisis of privileges. What do I mean by saying crisis of privileges, Sachin? These friars want some privileges from the Holy Roman See.
Okay.
Maybe bishopric, maybe some cathedrals. They want it. And Francis had written, "I strictly command all my brothers that neither by themselves nor through others they seek any privilege from the Holy Roman See." And here there are friars who want privilege. The third crisis was crisis of learning. Francis was not so much for learning. He was not against it. He was not so much for that. But here, they want to go to the University of Paris. They want to go to the University of Bologna. And there were friars who were aspiring for that. And the fourth was the crisis of clericalization. Francis had started it as a brotherhood. Now priests have come in and they are taking over. All these crises were there. Now the real point comes, Sachin, in this vast number of riots. There were some who wanted to live the ideals as enunciated in the rule, in the testament, and in the paternal life of Francis. And they were known as spirituals. And as for their leaders, we have got Angelo Clareno, Ubertino Casale, Peter John Olivi. All these were their leaders. That's what you call the spiritual group. On the other side, people who wanted to adapt their life to the demands of the present day, enter into normal pastoral ministry and live a lax life. They were known as the conventual group. The conventual group. Otherwise, we call them the relaxed group. So these two groups are there. They are going. And this spiritual group was a very, very lean group, very weak group. The other one had all power and all members. Authority was with them. And you know, Sachin, there were 4 people who came forward one after another, demanding to live a very austere life. There is a Filippo Majorca, the John de Valli, and Gentiliso Spoleto, and Pauluccio. 4 people were there. They wanted to live a very strict life. And this was going on. This tension was going on. I'm not going any further deeper into that. And as this tension was going on, Pope Leo X, he issued a bull. The bull is known, Ite vos in vinea mea. Since these are Latin words, Sachin may not be knowing the meaning of that.
I do not know.
Say that. Ite vos in vinea mea means, ite means in imperative form. You go to my vineyard. With that bull of 1517 issued by Pope Leo, the Franciscan order was divided into 2 groups. Which are the 2 groups, Sachin? One is conventual, other one is observant. That's how we call.
Yeah, the spirituals and the observants are
Correct,
the same.
correct. That's same thing. Spiritual group and conventual group. Observant, spiritual group. The other one, conventual group. Like that it was divided. I don't want to go still further into that division. We go straight now to the Capuchins. That's what the point you want to know.
Yes. How the Capuchins are
Capuchins came about there. That is the point. So this much background you understood, no, Sachin?
Yes.
Capuchins came, there was a friar. His name was Matteo de Bascio. He was just 30 years old. The age at which our blessed Lord started his public life. And this Matteo de Bascio had a vision in the night. Francis is appearing to him. Appearing to him with a habit that you have worn and I have worn, with a hood and all. And that little beard, you have got a good beard and I have got a French beard. And this is the vision he got. And he said, I must follow this. I must change my habit. Not the habit that is worn by these conventuals or observant. I must have what I have seen in the vision. And that's the habit you have got. And that's the habit I have put on. He put that habit. He put that habit. And at that time the Provincial was one father, John of Fano. This Provincial said, this type of laxity or what you call this type of aberration, I will not permit. I will not permit. You get back to the normal way of life, otherwise you will get. John was the Provincial, I told you, John of Fano.
Yes.
And Matteo is here. At this time, Matteo had a great protectress. That is the Duchess of Camerino. Her name is known as Caterina Cibo. This lady had a special love for Matteo. What's the reason of special love? The reason was there was plague in her area. And Matthew went out of his way, even sacrificing his own life to look after them. And this lady, this Caterina of Camerino, Caterina Cibo, was so much interested that she was in deep adoration to this man, what you call Matthew. So Matthew presents himself to the Pope, at that time Pope Clement, along with this lady, what is the name? Caterina Cibo. And this Caterina Cibo happens to be the niece of Pope Clement.
Okay.
So she has got a big influence with uncle and presented the case. See, I would like to live as Francis lived, with that habit and begging and all those things. Pope said okay, because why Pope was influenced? Niece was there.
Yes, yes.
That is Caterina of Cibo. Pope said, okay, my son, you live like that. You put a new habit like you and I have got, and you can go about. But one condition. When the chapter takes place, you must present yourself at the chapter. You know chapter, no? Yes. We have got our chapter, no?
Yes, yes, yes.
In 1525, there was a chapter of Jesse. Jesse means not the Jesse that we find in our place. It's a place in Italy. The chapter was held there. And because Pope had asked him to go to chapter, no? This man went with a new habit and all for the chapter. And the provincial is there, John Fano. He was waiting for the fellow. Caught him and put him in the prison. Put him in the prison there for 3 months in the prison. Caterina came to know of it, that he is now put in the prison. She comes to the provincialate, the so-called provincialate, shouts at the mile, burn your monastery and I will throw out all the friars from here if you do not free Matthew. Okay?
Yes.
Matthew is left free. Matthew came out. Now, Sachin, 2 other friars, they were brothers, sons of a nobleman called a count. Their name was, one was Louis, the other one was Raphael. These 2 people wanted to live the way Matthew was living, but were not given permission. John said, nothing to him, 1 joker enough, we don't require more. So they went to the conventuals for protection. John said, no question of taking protection with the conventuals, come. And he excommunicated them. Then they ran to the Camaldosians. There was one father, superior one, Father Paul, he was a powerful man. Camaldosian is another religious congregation. And he protected them. Protected these 2 people. This Paul and what you call, not Paul, the Louis and Raphael. And you know, John would not leave that easily. John got the police force, surrounded the Camaldosian monastery to arrest these 2 people. And a monastery means there will be hundreds of friars, no? It's a big kingdom. And Paul would not yield. Paul is the superior of Camaldosians. He would not yield. Then John did, he got a writ from the court that they can be arrested. And with that, equipped with that writ, the police come. Now what to do? What did these friars do, you know? They put on the habit of the Camaldosians. Our habit is this color, no?
Yeah, so
Camaldosians' habit might have been white color or something like that way. They put on that habit and slowly slipped out. Slowly slipped out. Because they could not identify the persons. The monastery, 5,000, 3,000 and all. Who knows? They left. And then after that, Louis, along with this lady, Catherine of Cibo, goes to the Pope. Goes to the Pope, Clement, and presents the matter. He was in Viterbo. Pope was living in Viterbo. And the Pope issues immediately bull, that is in 1528. 1528, 11 years after the first one. And their bull name is Religionis Zelus. Religionis Zelus. And we are free now. The Capuchin order is accepted, confirmed, and legalized by the Pope. You get it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a very beautiful,
Yeah.
clear and a wonderful narration about the emergence of the Capuchin order.
Capuchin order, yeah. And Sachin, I must tell you also, as parentheses, things were wonderful. And then they had the first chapter. The first chapter was in 1529 at a place called Albacina.
Okay.
Albacina. Friars all gathered, the first Capuchins gathered,
Yes,
and they elected a vicar general. We call vicar general because the proper general is the other side, conventuals. And Matteo was elected. But within 10 days, Matteo resigned.
Oh,
He said, that is not my line of life because I would like to go preaching and all those things. And he went back to the observance.
the founder himself.
Went to that side. And it is Louis and Raphael who then guides the order. And as I told you, in 1529, we have got the chapter of Albacina, wherein statutes were formulated. And 1536, we have got the first constitution for the Capuchins, that is called the Constitution of Saint Euphemia. Saint Euphemia is the church in which chapter was held. So that is how the Capuchin order emerged, Sachin. If you have got any other clarification or any doubt, you are free to ask me.
Yes, yes. About the emergence, it's very much clear. It's crystal
Very
clear,
clear.
Father.
Now you can share with the catechism students and all.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, you
it's very
share.
clear for me and everyone who is listening to. They're also very much clear about it.
That's right. Thank you, Sachin.
Father, then I have a few more very small questions.
Ask me.
The terminology Capuchins, how did that emerge? And is there any relation with the hood that we wear?
Exactly, you have told it rightly, Sachin. This is called a capus.
Yes.
And
That is a Latin term.
I think Italian.
Italian.
Latin and Italian are very similar. And Italian term, capus. And those who are having this capus became Capuchins. No other religious significance,
Okay.
except that you have got the capus and I have got the capus. You get it? Yeah, that is it. Here we may not be having that much of use for this capus.
Yes, exactly.
But in the foreign country, it has got very good use because very cold, high winter, you can just pull it and put on the head and your ears are covered and you feel comfortable.
Oh, when it is snowing.
Very snowing and very cold, very windy, cold, windy breeze is coming. This is an immediate protection for them. And their habit is not like yours and mine, soft cloth. It's a woolen cloth.
Yeah, very cold.
And you pull it and put enough. And also, they used to collect a little gifts and all they put in the capus. They carry it. A personal bag, so to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that is it about the Capuchins.
Yeah. Just one more question, Father.
Ask me, Sachin.
You were telling that the Franciscan order is divided into three.
Correct.
That is the observants or the spirituals, then the
Conventuals
and the Capuchins.
Capuchins.
So we were talking about the emergence of these three groups.
Correct.
And now I would like to understand the difference between these three groups based on their charisms or their way of life, how they are different to each other based on their charisms. Can you explain
Sachin,
more?
I will tell you first where we are differentiated.
Yes.
We are known as the Testament friars. You get it?
Yes.
What the meaning is Testament friars? I told you, Francis had written a testament just before his death. And the testament contained whatever ideals he had expressed in the rule of 1221 and which were not incorporated in the rule of 1223, all those things were in the testament. A big question came. Is the testament binding? That was a big question. And those people who wanted to have a relaxed life or wanted to have an easy life, they said testament is not binding. And there were friars who insisted that the testament is binding because it is very well written. This is my will and testament. And you should read it when you read the rule also along with that. Francis was very clear. But there were friars who said, no, it is not binding. That was the issue. And when that kind of a confusion comes or a conflict in idea comes, what do? You go to a third party to know the opinion. And who is the best third party here? The Pope himself. So they presented the testimony before Pope Gregory IX, who was the Cardinal Protector. What was his name? Cardinal Ugolino. He is the Pope now. They presented the matter to the Pope. Pope was a close friend of Francis. But he has to go juridically. He studied the matter. In 1230, Pope issued a bull by name Co Elongati. The bull name is Co Elongati. That changed the whole picture of the Franciscans. In the bull, Pope said, although great friend of Francis, he said, your testament is not binding for the friars. And he gave two reasons. He was an ordinary member. He had resigned.
Yes.
Peter Catani is there. Afterwards, Elias has come. And when Francis writes the testament, Elias is the general. Francis is an ordinary friar. And therefore, Pope said, an equal has no right over an equal. Do you get to the point there, Sachin?
Yes.
Francis is an equal like you and me. And he cannot put a law above everybody else. That is the first point he said, juridically. Second point the Pope said, what is to be observed by all must be approved by the majority, which means this should be brought into the chapter, discussed and passed. Therefore, the testament is not binding. And the friars, quite a number of them, did not accept the ruling of the Pope. They said, Pope may say that or this, but for us, our Seraphic Father has given it as his will and testament, and we have to live by that. Leave aside Co Elongati or some other Elongati, that is the material for us. We are bound by the testament. That was a basic reason. And that's why we Capuchins are known as the Testament friars. Do you get it, Sachin?
Yes.
Yeah. Testament, when it is binding, many of the privileges that you enjoy as a friar are taken away.
Thank you so much, Father, for this very informative and inspiring session. And we'll be back again with more stories, more historical facts. So, bye-bye and see you until we meet again. God bless you all.